Greetings and peace. This will be a continuation of Christianity the Trap. It'll be part 4. There's so many topics and layers that we can discuss on exposing the Christian religion. It's on the left-hand side, as I've been saying. This is not a judgment or condemnation of Christians out there. We've all grown up in ignorance. We've grown up in misteachings. We have an opportunity to correct ourselves. The Heavenly Father is not going to allow us to stay in darkness. He doesn't want us to have continual fellowship with that, but that we would amend our ways in light of Christ, establishing the commandments in the light of Christ. Again, Christianity, non-denominational or denominational churches, the authorities that are over them, the movers and shakers that are setting up some of these erroneous doctrines, conspiring against a lot of us, is on the left-hand side. Luciferian. That's a strong statement to many. What I mean by Luciferian is man's reason and philosophy as supreme, not God's wisdom, not the Great Spirit's knowledge and understanding. You see how foolish that is? And the Christian doctrine and dogma has done that. Pick and choose what commandments to keep and say that we're covered by Christ for the rest. That's man's philosophy. And that ends up in lawlessness, which produces darkness. That's why I have to address this. And that's why we must add to this and multiply what the truth is so that we can give ourselves a better opportunity and that others can see this and correct themselves as well. Because ultimately, this is about the love of our Maker. Wisdom makes us a friend of God. But see, wisdom does not come when we don't establish the commandments. And that's what's happening in the Christian church. When we're in darkness, we start to hold on to more darkness. And that becomes a problem. Because if we're in darkness holding to more darkness, then when the truth comes or when Christ is in front of us, are we really with him? You see how that goes? That's dangerous. The Dietary Law, right? The Christian church says that we can eat pork and shellfish, even though shellfish to this day, #1 food allergy that sends people to the emergency room year in and year out. Never changed its nature after Christ left, after he died and resurrected. Pork, one of the worst foods you can consume. One of the worst foods on our digestive system. All right? Carries all type of diseases, tapeworms, all that. I'm talking about unclean animals and clean animals according to the dietary law that was given to the children of Israel. Now, when we accept Christ, we come into that covenant. So we learn from those commandments. They teach us something. Others that don't eat meat, that's another conversation. But we have to talk about the wisdom of the dietary law. Because a lot of people that are vegan and vegetarian, they don't talk about the wisdom of the dietary law either. So they've also pushed it aside. See, establishing it is also establishing the wisdom of it. Pork, again, being one of those meats that is bad for us. These are just facts. But let's consider what the Christian church is saying again. They're saying now we can eat these things because Christ cleansed us, or he's made things, he's renewed creation, however they say it. It doesn't really make sense because the dietary law is a whole package. It deals with the division of all the animal kingdom. And there was wisdom that came with that. We're supposed to learn from the clean animals that are permitted to be eaten. We're supposed to learn from their characteristics and apply those things in our lives. We're also supposed to learn from the unclean animals. We're supposed to learn their characteristics and not perform those things, not copy those characteristics. They all serve their function and purpose in creation. See, it doesn't make any sense once you say we can eat pork or shellfish, because what you're really saying is now we can eat anything, any insect, any reptile, any mammal, beast, whatever. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't even stand up to common sense. Can you imagine me bringing in a cat or a dog and horse and all these critters on a plate and saying, well, now it's okay because of Christ? Some Christians would look at me like I'm crazy, even though they eat pork and shellfish, because they would know something's wrong with that, because it doesn't make any sense. They would be like, ugh, you know what I'm saying? And that's the whole thing. We're eating things that before God are an abomination. it's normalized to us, but we're not supposed to be eating them. There's wisdom that comes with establishing those commandments. Christ did not eat unclean foods, right? We still have to keep those commandments and establish them and teach the wisdom of them. We're not allowed to eat anything now. We're not allowed to eat anything because we can use Christ over that. It doesn't make any sense. Let me know what you think. This is what I talk about, the darkness and lack of discretion with these doctrines. It blinds us to what's clean and unclean. And that's a whole package deal, because once you start becoming a little blind in one area, it can produce further blindness in another. It's G.W.O.E. Get wisdom over everything. Until next time, peace.